They will be eligible for championship competition come next year. UC Merced, a longtime NAIA school, making the jump to the NCAA Division I ranks. A few school years ago, they were officially accepted as a Division I school in July of 2024. So that means the UC Merced Bobcats come next year. They will be eligible for the championship next year, so it is going to be fun. UC Merced trying to figure some things out with a lot of key players returning next year, so we shall see how UC Merced will play in this contest against the opponent that they beat last year in the Expedition contest, McKendree. They are wearing the black caps. They are going to be attacking right to left, and UC Merced in the white caps, they'll be attacking left to right. It's going to be Gavin Haight getting the start in goal for McKendree, and on the other side, it's Matthew Lloyd getting the start for UC Merced, as both teams are trying for the sprint, and we are officially underway for day number 2 of the 2025 Men's Water Polo Championship. And it's going to be UC Merced starting off with the first attack. Andrew Jones, he had a few goals yesterday. Hambrook closing on in. He waits, looks at the shoot, sends a pass back to Jones instead. 5 seconds to shoot. UC Merced taking a lot of time here. Jones trying for the love, and he scores. Andrew Jones sending that over the head of Gavin Haight. And UC Merced strikes first in the battle of the Cats. Now the first offensive possession on the way for McKendree. It's Clayton Gallagher. Gonna whistle a foul. Gallagher again. Copus with the pass towards the 2-meter line, and swarming around the ball as Doherty tried for possession, but it is in anyway. It is Ahmad Lagoff, the WWPA first-team member for McKendree, gets the Bearcats on the board. Labani sending it off. Ladaris trying to push it to Jones. And a foul. That's going to go against Gallagher. Jones controls again. A left side pass. Soto trying to send it down. He's being guarded by Lagoff. 4 seconds to shoot. Ladaris racing on up. Running out of time, and a big stop for Gavin Haight. And McKendree with a chance here to take the lead. Pass towards Gallagher. 1v1, and he skips it through. And McKendree takes the lead. We'll go to Clayton Gallagher. So we talked about how this was a close matchup last year as Ladaris. A lot of pressure, to say the least, by Robertson. And Andrew Jones. Another whistle away from the play. And it seems an exclusion is going to go against McKendree. That is indeed the case. Power play chance for UC Merced. Ladaris. 12 seconds to shoot. Glove back to the 6-meter, the shot, and it is another stop. Gavin Haight denying the chance to Jones. Gonna be led up by Lagoff. 2 straight goals for McKendree, and they look to take the lead here. Gibson. Back to Lagoff. A whistle and a foul. towards the direction of Chacon, and that is a big stop for Lloyd as the ball pops back to the plus side of the field for UC, or the pool, I should say, for UC Merced. They have to retreat it back to Lloyd. James Soto sent it back to him. Andrew Jones with the pass inside. And the flip in, and that is Labonte getting the goal to tie it. Labonte back into the surface, and he scooped it through Gavin Haight. Actually, not skipped it through, he sent it into the air. Under 5 minutes remaining in the first period. And a whistle, Prokopis. Sending it far side. Into the middle, off of the crossbar, Robertson, and it is going to be out. Matthew Lloyd. And the lucky break as it made the crossbar, and it landed in front of the goal. Or of the net, I should say. Now Jones. And a whistle, Hambrook. Back to Jones. Right hand. Hambrook. Jones again. Hambrook. Now far side. And they shoot. That one is going to hit off of the corner of the post. With the shot, I believe that was taken by Soto. Indeed it was. At the halfway point of the first period. Gallagher into the middle and a whistle. It was towards the direction of the player in front for McKendree. That was James Ramey. Now Gallagher. Tough angle. Gibson. Gallagher again. Pulls it, and he tried to skip it in, but it's going to go wide instead. Lamar Legoff had the shot. Hambrook, loose ball. And a whistle as Iolfsson got pushed below the surface. Now Gallagher. McKendree trying to take the lead again. Ramey into the middle. Gibson, he scores. Or actually made that Yannick Robertson, the junior out of Trinidad and Tobago. And it is 3-2 McKendree. Robertson, a second-team WWPA conference member, 3 years in a row. All 3 years for the junior. He was also on the all-freshman team in 2023, and he was an honorable mention on the D2 All-American list last year. There's Jones. Another whistle. And possession back to McKendree. Haight. The push to Martinez. Jones with pressure. Foul's going to get called against him. Prokopis, he scores. Alexandros Prokopis, a freshman out of Greece. Member of the all-freshman team and an honorable mention player as well. And he makes it 4-2. UC Merced playing in this contest, and then they will close out the tournament, their last expedition match, before heading in the next season where they will be eligible for postseason competition. Here's Andrew Jones towards the 2-meter line, and that is going to be skipped in. The goal for Weston Oliver. And UC Merced is back within one. And McKendree, they're not done yet either after the conclusion of this game before they head back home to Illinois. They'll take on Salem in the 5th place game tomorrow morning. McKendree trying to go back ahead by 2. They do. They score Doherty. And it's 5-3. And McKendree is also going to be playing in the 5th place game once again. They played in it last year. Played in the 3rd place game in 2023 after losing in the semifinals to Biola. They lost to Salem in the 3rd place game 2 years ago. Minute 22 remaining until we move along to the 2nd, and a steal for Kevin Keogh. Gavin Haight pushing it ahead, or at least he will there. Back to the middle. Trying to find Betteray. And UC Merced taking it back with under a minute remaining until we move to the 2nd. A 2-goal lead for McKendree. UC Merced looking to change that right here. Another whistle. "12 seconds to shoot. UC Merced trying to get some light back. Copus. A lot of pressure there to Hambrook. Andrew Jones. 3 seconds to shoot. Pass. It is let go, and they score. A chance in the middle. And it's 5-4. And the guy who got the goal, his cap fell off. That happened a few times yesterday. So 30 seconds, the shot clock and the game clock are going to be simultaneous. And that was Missouri. There's Gallagher. Throws it high, and it hits the line, and that go out of bounds for Copus as it hit the tube. And it indeed did. A pass that was a little too far. And Ladarius, after it was sent off by Lloyd. Andrew Jones. Ball in his hands. For the tie, he's got it! Oh, Andrew Jones ties it! Sending that pass, Hay, with 2 seconds on the clock until we head to the 2nd. And McKendree, Keogh. McKendree could try for one Hail Mary shot here. And the pass, Procopis, and it is blocked by Ladarius, and we are tied at 5 heading into the 2nd. Back-to-back goals for UC Merced to end the quarter. And some light for UC Merced, like we talked about at the start of the program. UC Merced took down McKendree last year in their expedition contest in overtime, as we are going to have a look at that goal by Andrew Jones to tie it. Andrew Jones, a member of the WWPA 2nd team this year, and he had the ball in his hands, and he sent it through. Andrew Jones, 131 goals in his career coming into today after he got a few yesterday. As UC Merced, obviously, putting up a fight all the way through until they head back to Fresno. And McKendree, they are going to get ready to compete in the 5th place game for the 2nd year in a row after losing to Fresno Pacific in the 5th place game last year. We'll take on Salem tomorrow, and we know now that we will not have a repeat champion this year after Salem lost to Biola yesterday. And so as a result, we will not have a repeat champion, and the last repeat champion was still in this decade when UC Davis won their championships in 2021 and 2022. UC Davis now as a member of the Big West. Yes, that is the case. A lot of former WWPA members now a part of the Big West Conference. UC Davis, they actually defeated Cal State Fullerton yesterday in the Big West tournament, so they are going to be taking on UC Santa Barbara today in the semifinals. The number 1 seed Long Beach State going up against UC San Diego, another WWPA, a former WWPA school. And at the half, we're going to go over the recaps of all of the other 5 Division I water polo conference tournaments, with the quarterfinals starting yesterday all across the country, with the NWPC Championship in Rhode Island, hosted by Brown. The MAWPC hosted in New York City, hosted by Fordham and the Bronx. And also can't forget about, obviously, the MPSF tournament that is in California at Stanford, where, of course, the national championship will be again. So we move along into the second quarter. The WCC championship is in Colorado at the Air Force Academy. And the Big West Championship, like we just talked about, it is in Irvine. So a lot of fun water polo here this week and all across the country. In Rhode Island, New York City, California, and Colorado. And of course here in Ohio. So we move along into the second. Tied at 5. Our first of 2 expedition contests. The next one will not be until later today when Salem takes on UC Merced in a turnover that's forced by Gallagher. Catch in the middle. Prokopis blocked. Ladera's getting a piece of it, and Jones tried for the steal. And UC Merced with a chance to take the lead here. It'll be their first lead. It's picked up by Labonte. 1v1 with Haid, and it's going to be a penalty shot. Seems it's going to go against Legoff. As Vincent Labonte was running on down, and Andrew Jones will swim ahead to try to give the lead to UC Merced. UC Merced only had a lead in the Gannon game yesterday, and they're going to have a lead in the McKendree game. Another goal for Andrew Jones. And UC Merced leads for the first time in this game. And it is going to be goal number 4. Actually made that a hat trick for Andrew Jones. But yes, hat trick. He has 4 shots. So McKendree playing from behind. And of course, I mentioned it yesterday, a McKendree program that played with heavy hearts all season long after the passing of their coach Colleen Lishway back in January. Of course, if you joined us in Morgantown. That was a magical day when McKendree defeated Biola in the Women's Championship in West Virginia back in April. McKendree will at least try to head back to Illinois with a 5th place finish. There's Doherty. He had it for a second. Now McKendree. See what they can do playing from behind. A catch. Prokopis right in front. Jones was on him. And Jones is going to get caught with an exclusion. Doherty. Gallagher. Rolls it back. Prokopis. And the catch, it is intercepted. Jakey Chacon. And a whistle and a penalty shot. And if that is against Matthew Lloyd, then will he still be able to take the penalty shot? That is not the case. Robertson's going to take it, and Matthew Lloyd will still be able to stay in goal. And it is off of the post. But a rebound to Robertson, and he tried to lob it in, but it went to the side of the net. But possession goes back to McKendree. And Prokopis. Federer. Thought about letting it go, but it's going to be let go on the far side by Legoff, and we are tied at 6. There's Ladaris. Sends it to Patrick Jones. They push it up ahead in a foul. An exclusion against Gibson. Actually, now just the foul. Gibson will stay on defense. Hambrook. Ladaris fires, and that is going to skip wide. And McKendree has it back with a chance to retake the lead. By Patrick Jones, looking for the intercept. He's got it, and Hambrook. Back to Lloyd. Pushing it up ahead. Oh, what a catch. Trying to drive inside, and a whistle. Labonte has it turned over. And Hate's going to push it to Vettere. There's Legoff. Doherty trying to run it down at the 6-meter. Gibson at the Doherty. 2 seconds to shoot. McKendree is running out of time, and they are going to run out of time as the ball's back to UC Merced, and they are able to force a turnover. Patrick Jones to Hambrook. Back to Patrick Jones. Swims left towards the 6-meter. Now Ladaris. Sending it far side. 3 seconds to shoot. Now UC Merced is running out of time. They get it off, and it is blocked. The rejection for Doherty. And McKendree has it back with another chance to retake the lead. Gibson. Doherty. Gibson controls again. See Biola coming in, getting ready for their semifinal contest against the host school, the Gannon Golden Knights. Legoff, and he's going to send that shot wide. And as Legoff was controlling, UC Merced regains it. Throwing it up ahead. It's Patrick Jones. Swimming towards the net, was trying to push it off. And it comes out to Ramey. And another whistle. Labonte, and it is a big denial for Haight, excuse me. But Haight was acting like a gate there, just blocking that shot. at the halfway point of the second period. Seems there's a timeout. Yeah, since we have a timeout, it's a good time to go over the other contests from around all the conference championships in NCAA water polo, with the 5 other conferences in action. And let's start off with the NWPC tournament in Rhode Island. MIT, the number 5 seed, taking down Iona, the number 4 seed, and the 3rd seed, Brown, the host school for the MWPC tournament, or NWPC tournament, excuse me, taking down LIU 13-11. So the 5th place game is going to be starting in about a half hour, LIU against Iona. And the semifinals, it is going to be Princeton taking on MIT, and Brown, they will be going up against Harvard. And in the MAWPC tournament, the Naval Academy taking down Mercyhurst, former WWPA school, 20-6 yesterday. George Washington defeating Mount St. Mary's in the 3rd and the 6th seed game, and the only game where the lower seed defeated the top seed was the 4th and 5th seed game, with Wagner taking down Bucknell. So the semifinals for the MAWPC tournament, it is going to be Fordham taking on Wagner. Of course, Fordham, the number 1 seed, the team that lost in the semifinals, the USC, in the national championship tournament last year. Fordham trying for another MAWPC title and another trip to the NCAA tournament. They'll be taking on Wagner in the semifinals, and the Naval Academy will be going up against George Washington in the other semifinal contest in New York City. And then once we move along to the half, we'll go over the recaps of the 3 other conference tournaments out on the West Coast. Martinez with the pushover and another whistle. With Ramey controlling, now back into the middle. Martinez is looking to fire. An exclusion against UC Merced. Into the middle. 20 seconds to shoot. Del Campo. Procopis. Into the middle. And a whistle after it was controlled by Keogh. And UC Merced with another chance. Try to recapture the lead after they had it for a few seconds. And a low-scoring second quarter, to say the least. Only a goal for each team. There's Ladaris. 2 fours battling it there. Procopis was on him. And a reset, Patrick Jones. And a chance, they score. Ladaris. And UC Merced retakes the lead. Keogh by Olfson. Procopis. Into the middle, a turnaround off of the crossbar with a shot for Keogh. And Matthew Lloyd. Throwing it ahead. Ladaris. Ambrook. Into the middle and a whistle as they were trying to send it down to Misserly. Gavin Haight sending it down Del Campo. Procopis. And the swab with the poke by Hambrook. Get it back. And the Bobcats regain control ahead by 1 with under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Patrick Jones. Ladaris. Another whistle. Chacon. And a whistle results in a turnover. Del Campo. Still working far side. Past the 2-meter line, Del Campo trying to race towards the net. He had a blockade in front of him. Applying the pressure was Chacon. Gallagher in front. Prokopis, he scores. Alexandros Prokopis with pressure on him. And we're tied again. 7-all. So have a look there, Prokopis. And the pass on the run. Like we talked about, we had a feeling this was going to be a close one. Had to go to overtime when these two teams played in the Expedition last year, and it was the game that UC Merced won. And these two teams did meet in the regular season, all the way back in September at the Rare Air Invitational at the Air Force Academy in Colorado. A game that McKendree won 17-14. It was in a non-WWPA game. So these two teams already have experience playing each other. This year, an East Coast-West Coast matchup in the divisions. 8 seconds to shoot. Patrick Jones into the middle, and they score. Weston Oliver getting the goal in heavy traffic. And the Bobcats retake the lead. New player in for McKendree, Jaquin Vasquez. I do not believe he was in the quarterfinal game yesterday. I don't remember calling his name. Getting some playing time here with 52 seconds until we move along to the second half. Doherty, Lagoff on the catch. Ramey. Doherty in front, trying the turn, and a little high for Gibson. UC Merced has it back, ahead by 1. Lloyd, he waits. And another whistle. Our officials for this game are Chad Parker and Jay O'Neill. And Jay O'Neill, women's head coach at St. Francis. Patrick Jones, and a block. Oh, what a save. With a new goalie in for the Bobcats, it is Gennaro Pecoraro, the grad student out of Italy. 4 seconds to shoot. Lagoff for the tie, and it is denied by Lloyd to end the first half. Matthew Lloyd denying the WWPA first team member. And UC Merced leads 8-7. Like we said, the Bobcats defeated McKendree in their Expedition contest last year, so we shall see what will be in store as we move along to the third quarter. When we come back, you are watching the 2025 WWPA Men's Championship. UC Merced leads this Expedition match 8-7. We are back here on the WWPA Sports Network as we move along into the final 16 minutes of regulation in this expedition contest between the McKendree Bearcats and the UC Merced Bobcats. Got the battle of the cats here. And 8-7 is the score with UC Merced in front. Bobcats getting 3 goals by Andrew Jones, Weston Oliver getting 2. 1 for Vincent Labonte, 1 for Bennett Misserly, and 1 for Evan Ladaris. And on the other side, Alexander Pakopis, he had 2 goals. Ahmad Lagoff had 2 goals for McKendree. Quentin Gallagher and Rowan Doherty with 1. Yannick Robertson with 1 as well. Both teams switching sides. UC Merced now attacking right to left. McKendree left to right. And there's Andrew Jones. Controls right hand. Hambrook. Andrew Jones, and that one is going to be swatted out by Pecoraro. And it seems that Matthew Lloyd staying in net for UC Merced. Since it went off Pecoraro, it is going to be kept by UC Merced. Still control. Back to Andrew Jones. Pushing it at the 2-meter. Jones has it again, and that is denied by Pecoraro, and they fight for the rebound, and it's going to be won back by Gallagher. And Pecoraro tried to get it back, but it hit the tube out of bounds, so UC Merced regains control. There's Labonte. Was there to get it back, and Hambrook pushing it back to Andrew Jones. And he thought about firing. Faked the shot. Tried to take a shot there, and Robertson with the pressure just enough to get it back, and Robertson trying to swim on back, looking for a breakaway chance here. He receives the pass, and Robertson, Ladaris gets back. And Robertson getting forced to the outside by Ladaris. And Robertson sending it in. Lagoff trying to gain full control of the ball at the 2-meter line, and another whistle and a foul is going to be called against Jakey Chacon. 25 seconds to shoot as McKendree looking to tie it at 8. Gallagher back to Lagoff. Into the middle, a one-timer. Robertson gets it, but it seems it is not going to count because Robertson was past the 2-meter line. Matthew Lloyd throws it. Oh, Matthew Lloyd. He tried to send it on down. He would have had that a few feet to the left. Might have had a goal. Onto the other side. Robertson getting it through again. But another goal for Robertson that's not going to count after Prokopis sent the pass in. And Ladaris. Andrew Jones. Back to Ladaris. Jones was the intended target, and he sends it to Robertson instead. Pecoraro. The long pass, Prokopis. Prokopis lets it go, and getting a piece if it was Lloyd as it sails out of bounds. And McKendree will keep a chance still to tie. Betteray. Doherty. Has it again. Still controls. Finds Lagoff. Lagoff has it, and it was kept out by Lloyd. Matthew Lloyd getting back just in time. I think Lagoff saw that there were some open spaces. Lloyd was getting ready because he thought the ball was going towards the middle. And he was able to get back just in time to make the stop. Jones. Pressure and a foul against Robertson. Jones for the shoot, and what a save by Pecoraro. A grad student out of Italy. Jumping to make the catch. There's Gallagher. He waits, 10 to shoot. He shoots, he scores. Quentin Gallagher ties it at 8. It took 3 minutes and 32 seconds to get the first goal of the quarter. And it goes to McKendree. Another goal for Quentin Gallagher, the senior out of St. Louis. And another whistle and a turnover. There's McKendree again. Keogh. 1v1. For the lead, he scores. Back-to-back for McKendree. Kevin Keogh, the sophomore out of Chicago, gives the Bearcats the lead. There's Andrew Jones again. Back-to-back goals for McKendree. UC Merced trying to get on the board here, and a penalty shot might do the trick. It was drawn by Oliver in front. And it will be taken by Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones trying for goal number 4 here. He's got it. And this game is tied at 9. Olfsen. Now Ramy. Ramy still keeps Chacon on the coverage. 15 seconds to shoot. Martinez. Down low and a save. Lloyd denying the chance from Gibson. Chacon. Got the Jones. Some open pool for Hambrook, and he almost got it. Oh, it's in! Patrick Jones was towards the ball. Jaden Del Campo was trying to get it out. I would love to see if we can get a replay on that goal. One of the most bizarre goals that we have seen in this tournament. Because I believe Del Campo might have got a touch on it. Let's see if we can get... Well, we're going to get a replay as both teams making changes. So look at the left of the screen. As Patrick Jones just getting the pass, and he was able to get it in. Seeing it live, thinking that Del Campo might have got a piece of it. And UC Merced will take it, and they lead again. Legolf and a big save for Lloyd. Denying the chance for the WWPA first team member. There goes Chacon. Legolf on him. Chacon. Got the Soto. The skip ahead. He's trying to find Oliver in front. Guerrero to Legolf. Legoff throws it into the middle. Ramey with heavy traffic in front of him. And a chance. Robertson, he scores. This game is tied at 10. Robertson 1v1 with Lloyd. Or is it? No, it's actually not a goal. It happened again. Robertson then was past the 2-meter line again. As the whistle, there was not a whistle in sight. So a whistle the other way, and now McKendree will have a chance to tie it again. There goes Legoff. 5-meter, and they score. Prokopis. Now it is actually a lead. Yes, they accidentally forgot to put the 10 on the scoreboard for McKendree, so that's why there was some confusion. They forgot to put it on. It was still at 10-9, and then just as that goal went through, they put an extra point on the board, and it is indeed a lead for McKendree. That's Prokopis getting the goal to make it 11-10. I just want to apologize for the confusion, but we know now it is indeed a lead for McKendree. There's Ladaris. UC Merced trying to tie it here, but a lot of pressure by Oliver. And Oliver cannot gain control. Doherty. Nathan Weintraub checks in for the Bearcats. Doherty, another whistle. They got 9 seconds to shoot. Prokopis trying for back-to-back goals. Oliver on him. Prokopis, 3 seconds to shoot. He fires, and it is going to be skipped in, but will it count? As the whistle blew immediately as Prokopis took the shot. And that will not count, with a chance still for UC Merced to tie it with 37 seconds remaining until we move to the fourth, and a timeout is going to be called. I believe it was called by Miguel Figueres, head coach for McKendree. Son Alex, the head coach for the women's team at McKendree. And Hannah Ellett in her first year as the head coach for this program. She was an assistant last year on both the men's and the women's teams. As Lloyd receives a fresh ball with 34 seconds left until we move to the fourth. We'll close the books on this game and head to our first semifinal game between Biola and Gannon. There's Oliver. Andrew Jones fires, and it is denied. A save for Pekka Herrero. But UC Merced with the second chance. Oliver swimming back with Robertson. Jakey Chacon is trying for it back, and Pekka Herrera throws it to Quentin Gallagher. 4 seconds. Gallagher with the cross-pull slide, and time is going to run out as he tried to send it over the Weintraub, the junior out of San Antonio. So we move to the fourth with a 1-point lead for McKendree. And so since we have some time, I think it's a good time now to go over the games for the other conference tournaments that are, of course, happening right now. And starting off with the MPSF tournament in Stanford. The Big Four all will be in action later on today in the semifinals, with USC taking on Stanford, the number 2 seed, and the 3 seed. UCLA will be taking on Cal, the number 4 seed, with a trip to the MPSF championship game on the line. And then on the other side, the West Coast Conference tournament that is being hosted by Air Force. This year, San Jose State taking down Air Force yesterday, 14-10. Pepperdine took down Santa Clara, 20-17. And California Baptist took down LIU. So the semifinals, San Jose State, the number 2 seed in the WCC tournament, will take on Pepperdine. And the number 5 seed, Cal Baptist, they will be taking on the number 1 seed, Pacific, in the semifinals in the WCC tournament. And the last tournament is the Big West. And former WWPA school UC San Diego defeating UC Irvine yesterday 11-8, and then UC Davis, the number 3 seed for the Big West tournament, taking out Cal State Fullerton 14-9. So the semifinals, number 1 seed Long Beach State will be taking on UC San Diego, and UC Santa Barbara will take on UC Davis. So that rounds out the conference tournaments for all the conferences that are going to get an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, which will be back in Stanford in a few weeks. Salem falling to UCLA, the number 1 seed in the quarterfinals last year, 22-6. It was UCLA, Salem, Stanford, Princeton, USC, Cal Baptist, Fordham, and Long Beach State all qualifying for the tournament a year ago. And it was UCLA taking down USC in the championship match, 11-8. Something else that we have talked about with one of these teams that is not from the state of California trying to make it to the championship. NCAA water polo has, of course, been around for a long time, since 1969. And the national championship game has consisted of 2 teams from the state of California. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Fordham almost broke that last year in the semifinals in their perfect season, but they lost to USC in the semifinals last year in overtime. And then USC would go on to lose to UCLA 11-8 in the championship match. So play resumes as we move to the fourth. UC Merced looking to tie it here. Andrew Jones trying to let it go. He does, and it's off of the crossbar. Pecoraro has it back for McKendree. Seven and a half more minutes until we close the books on this one, and then we move to the semifinals. And a chance, a little too wide for Legoff. Biola will be going up against Gannon, coming up next. And then the other semifinal game a little later on, the West Division matchup between Fresno Pacific and Concordia. There's Soto. Soto receives it again. Lets it go too high. After the pass to Andrew Jones, and Pecoraro has it back once again. Ramey sending it. Robertson, and it is going to be denied by Lloyd. as he sent it off immediately to Andrew Jones. Prokopis was trying to flag it down. A lot of open pull for Hambrook, who spins with Gibson getting back to guard him and Prokopis. And that pressure was just enough to give the ball back to McKendree. There's Legoff. As Ladaris lost his calf for UC Merced. Ramey trying to shoot. And a pass that was deflected by Jones. And the intercept, but a steal and a goal! Oh, Nathan Weintraub! Or is that Doherty? It's Doherty. Doherty picked it up, spun around, and he gets the goal to make it 12-10. Or is that going to count? They did not put it on the scoreboard yet. With some subs coming in and out for both teams. Yes, they are going to count that goal. What a shot by Doherty. There's Andrew Jones. Trying for the catch is Oliver. Another whistle. Keogh. That's the retreat. Andrew Jones. Stuck at the 6 meter. Slides. Chacon. Trying to fire. On the swap by Vettere. Has it back and he scores. Jakey Chacon, UC Merced back within 1 with 5:28 left. There's Iolfson. Can UC Merced get a defensive stop to try to tie it again as Vettere? Tries to send it back for another scoring chance for McKendree. Catch by Martinez. Gallagher trying to spin towards the middle. Soto is on him. Gallagher retreated to the corner. Another whistle, Del Campo. Trying to send it off into the middle. That's Keogh. And UC Merced has it back with a chance to tie it. Matthew Lloyd. He was going to send it off, but a timeout is going to be called by Hannah Ellett. Just a 30-second timeout. Nobody's going to head back to their benches. But McKendree making a change as Robertson is going to check in. An exclusion against McKendree as well, so UC Merced, chance to tie it here on the power play. And they will not there. Shot by Labonte, but it is stopped by Pecoraro. Gallagher, quick pass. Iolfson into the middle, was trying to find Robertson, and it's going to be intercepted. Oliver. Lloyd. Chacon. Chacon waits. UC Merced trying to tie it. Oliver into the middle. Trying for the poke to send it in. Misserly cannot find it, though. And Pecoraro has it back from McKendree. see how McKendree decides to play this. As Vettere leads it up. 12 seconds with McKendree ahead by 1. Robertson, he scores. Sending that past the right side of Lloyd. A 2-goal lead again for McKendree. Ladarius. Patrick Jones. There's Oliver. He shoots. He scores. Weston Oliver. UC Merced back within 1. It did not take long for UC Merced to get back on the board. Robertson, you can hear Hannah Ellett say, get a stop. For her boys. There's Prokopis. Legoff into the middle. Robertson, penalty shot. The last thing you wanted to give up if you were UC Merced. Robertson draws the penalty shot, and it's going to be taken by Joshua Gibson. With 3:06 on the clock. And it is a goal. Gibson skimming it past Lloyd. .305 left. There's Ladarius. Patrick Jones. Pushing that ahead, back into the middle, and Oliver scores again. Weston Oliver, the freshman. Camarillo, California. The mechanical engineering major skipping that through. Can UC Merced come up with another stop, or will McKendree go back ahead by 2? Legoff. Now Prokopis. And another goal. Robertson. And McKendree leads by 2 again. Robertson, that looked like a no-look goal. As he sent it, I believe his face was not completely in the surface. 2-goal lead for McKendree with 2:35 left. So we move along to our first semifinal game. It's going to be Biola taking on Gannon. Gannon trying to make it to the championship match for the first time in their history in their 3rd year as a member of the conference. Gannon lost in the quarterfinals against Concordia in 2023. And then in 2024, they defeated Fresno Pacific in the quarterfinals last year, but they could not get past Concordia again, losing to them in the semifinals last year, 14-9. But Gannon heading to the semifinals for the 2nd year, I should say, in a row after getting the number 1 seed. Of course, having that benefit, not having to worry about playing until day number 2 in a game that counts towards the championship portion. And Biola back in the semifinals once again for the 2nd year in a row. Of course, Biola, the 2023 champions. But falling in the semifinals to the eventual champion Salem in California last year. Biola would take Gannon in the third place game, though. So a rematch from the third place game last year, and this time it's for a trip to the championship. Off the timeout, UC Merced. Can they get back within one here? Patrick Jones. Ladarius too high. And that was a goal UC Merced was looking for, but Ladarius cannot send it home. And Pekka Herrero has it back for McKendree. Prokopis. Legault fires, and that's a big save for Lloyd. So UC Merced not done yet. Lloyd, Chacon, trying for a breakaway. He shoots, having to get it off, and it is denied by Pekka Herrero. The transition shot. Knowing UC Merced needed a goal in a hurry, Chacon was trying to provide it. And a whistle, Ladarius. 7 seconds to shoot for the Bearcats, and it's going to be taken back. Matthew Lloyd, who has played the entire match for UC Merced. And the Bobcats, they need a goal here. Patrick Jones. The throw. The shot blocked. Chacon was trying for the shot, and Ramy denied him. But Andrew Jones gets it back with a minute remaining, and that is going to be skipped wide as Andrew Jones was trying to send it home. And that might have been the last chance for UC Merced. Try to get a goal. They get back within one. And the Bearcats are going to try to run out the clock. They have 13 seconds to shoot. Seems they're going to try to use every second of the shot clock. There's Robertson. Quick pass, Prokopis. Trying to race on down. 1 second to shoot, and Prokopis lets it go, and time's going to run out on the shot clock. And Miguel Figueres seemed caught a timeout there, but there was no time left on the shot clock, so maybe not done yet. UC Merced can get a goal here, as Hannah Ellett had the horn in her hand. Not sure if UC Merced has any more timeouts. Seems they have one. So UC Merced gets a goal here, assuming Hannah Ellett's going to use that final timeout. Like we said, this was an overtime matchup when these two teams met in the Expedition match last year. And the only Expedition match that UC Merced would end up winning. And a Hail Mary shot the other way by Pekka Herrero. And Matthew Lloyd, I think that wouldn't have counted if that went in. I think just Pekka Herrero, I think the official accidentally giving the ball to Pekka Herrero, so he just sent it over to Jones. That would have been funny, because I would have thought that was a goal, and I think maybe the fans would have thought so as well. And there might be some confusion on which ball is supposed to be in the pool. And they hand it off to Matthew Lloyd, who's going to take it up himself. Lloyd from the midline, waits, sends it off, back into the middle, and the swarm. Pekka Herrero has it. What a foul. And a chance, wide open net, but the pass cannot be sent cleanly to Andrew Jones. And a whistle. And some subs coming in on this. Oh, is there a penalty? Oh, penalty shot. It's going to be taken by Chacon. Pekka Herrero, he is going to not stop it. Chacon. And the Bobcats back within one with 13 seconds left. Pekka Herrero will find Legoff. Look off deep in the corner. That's Chacon with the penalty shot goal. Look off. UC Merced, Chacon trying to get a turnover. Look off is going to send it off. He has a wide open man to the far side. It's Gibson. 2 seconds and 1, and time is going to run out. McKendree wins it by 1. 15-14 the final. And that late push by UC Merced just a little too late. And McKendree wins it. A back and forth fourth quarter as well. UC Merced having the lead, and UC Merced always facing that 1-goal deficit back on defense, and McKendree was able to get a goal to go ahead by 2 in the fourth quarter every single time, and as a result, McKendree wins this one, this exhibition match, 15-14. And we're going to step aside here in the WWPA Sports Network, and we're going to have a chat with Miguel Figueres, head coach for McKendree. When we come back, you're watching the 2025 WWPA Men's Tournament. McKendree wins this exhibition match over UC Merced 15-14. We are back here on the WWPA Sports Network. A 15-14 victory for the McKendree Bearcats over UC Merced here with McKendree head coach Miguel Figueres. So, Miguel, obviously you guys make the trip, coming up a little bit short of your ultimate goal, but how does it feel to get back on track, playing this UC Merced team and fighting all the way to the very end and winning by 1?
Oh, it was a great win for our kids. I think they needed that bounce back after yesterday. You know, we told them at halftime it was the same scenario, only we were up by 1 yesterday, instead. And here we were down by 1 coming in. And so we figured we just have to keep clawing back. And we did. I thought the kids played well, and they put together the the game that we needed to that second half, and didn't let some of the stuff going on, some of the calls or non-calls kind of, take away from there. And, I thought credit to Merced. Hannah and I were talking before the game about, both of us being first-year new head coaches and some of the challenges we've faced, and we've had a great relationship. She was, working for McKendree prior to, her having this job and years before, so she knew a lot of the players, and so it was fun. We coached club together, so we're friends, and it's a friendly rivalry. But it was nice to see the improvements that their program has made since we played them back in September out in Air Force. And just a credit to the conference to have all these close games where, there's 4 teams left that could win this. But reality is, any of the 6 that were alive, and Merced's not in their exhibition year, but I think on any given day someone can beat somebody else. So it's fun, it's exciting, it's close games, it's what the conference needs. It's great for water polo. So
yeah, and everything with your team that you guys have had to went through this year, what do you have to say about the job that your boys have done this year? Is just going through all the emotions, knowing that this was the first year without Colleen.
I think for them, there was they got to experience that from the sidelines in the spring with the women's season, so their grieving, I guess, was that part. And coming into this season, they certainly wanted to honor her, as did I and Breno and everybody else at the school. And I think one of the things that the challenges that Colleen had the last few years was just kind of collectively getting everybody on the same page. And I think that was a goal for us this year, to work on certain things that were going on outside of the pool. And I think we've done a really good job, and this team has really come together. While they were disappointed yesterday, they still, their heads up, they're hanging in there, they're supporting one another, which is all you can ask for. So
yeah, and still have a chance for 5th place tomorrow against Salem. What do you think some challenges are that the Tigers are going to bring as you guys move along to the 5th place game tomorrow morning?
Well, we've seen them. This will be our 3rd time seeing them. This morning, Concordia is staying at the same hotel we are. At breakfast, we were joking with Concordia that they get to play. We get to play Salem 3 times, and they get to play FPU 3 times. So it all works out. But we know them, they know us. They're very well coached. They've got some really talented players. And I think, we know them. Some of the guys know each other from either previous club teams, things like that. And so, they've got some incredible shooters, some strong centers, great play all around. And so, our hope is we can just stay with them. And they have some really, really offensive-minded players. And we were at a game back in West Virginia in October at our conference up there, and they played Gannon. Collectively, there were over 50 goals scored that game. I think it was, I don't know, it wasn't Gannon. I don't remember who they were, but it was, they can put up some goals. So we've got, and it's not just coming from 1 or 2 guys. So we're going to have our hands full tomorrow with them. So, hopefully we come in and can play a great game, and, that's all I can ask for these guys. And, if we get the win, that's even icing on the cake. But I think to go from where they were last year at 2-18 to the potential right now at 500 with an opportunity to go 1 win above 500 is extraordinary for these guys. And the credit to Coach Breno and the hard work the kids have put in all season long. And certainly, that's their way of going forward and honoring Coach Colleen and all she meant to this program. So.
Miguel, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks,
I really appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, guys.
That is Miguel Figueres, head coach for McKendree. I want to thank you all for joining us for this expedition game. The Bearcats taking down UC Merced. We're going to have our next semifinal game, our first semifinal game, coming up next here on the WWPA Sports Network. The Biola Eagles will square off against the Gannon Golden Knights with a trip to the WWPA Championship match on the line. This is the SPIRE Aquatic Center in Geneva, Ohio, as we welcome you to the 2025 WWPA Men's Semifinal. It is the Biola Eagles, the number 2 team from the West. They look to head back to the championship match for the first time in 2 years, and they will be going up against the number 1 seed out of the East. They are the Gannon Golden Knights, as Gannon looks to play for the WWPA Championship for the first time in year number 3 as a member of the conference. Hello everybody, we are pleased to be with you from the SPIRE Aquatic Center in Geneva, Ohio. I'm Colin the Bias. Gannon is in year number 3 as a member of the Western Water Polo Association, but they have never played for the WWPA Championship, and if they win this game, they will qualify for the finals for the first time in their history. Gannon losing to Concordia 14-9 in the semifinals last year. And on the other side for Biola, they are heading to the semifinals once again after losing to Salem in the semifinals a season ago, as Biola was trying to go back-to-back. Biola taking the 2023 WWPA Championship 18-12. They defeated McKendree in the semifinals 2 years ago to make it to the championship, and they would go on to lose to the UCLA Bruins in the semifinals 2 years ago. As Biola, they were looking for the repeat last year, but they could not get past the Salem Tigers in Concordia, as the Tigers defeated Biola 19-18 in the semifinals a season ago. As Biola and Gannon are meeting once again. This is the first time these two teams are squaring off since the third place game a season ago in the 2024 Men's Championship. That was a game that Biola would win 14-12. So two teams that have not seen each other since the tournament a year ago are going to be squaring off here to the side who will head to the championship. This is just the third time in their history that these two teams are squaring off, as the starting lineups are being introduced to the crowd, and Biola has won the last 2 times these two teams have met, like we talked about in the third place game, and they also met in the regular season 2 years ago, a game that Biola would win 12-8. So it is indeed going to be an exciting one to see if Biola can make it back to the championship for the first time in 2 years, or can Gannon, the number 1 seed out of the East, can they make it to the championship? As the host team, only time will tell, with Gannon defeating UC Merced in their expedition contest yesterday, 18-14. And Gannon getting to this point with only having 1 loss in WWPA play. It was against McKendree at the Salem Invitational in Bridgeport. And it is going to be an exciting one here, especially with the keeper matchup that we are going to have, assuming that Joshua Dockenhausen will be back in net for Biola, making that late save against Salem yesterday that would have